You guys, I'm so excited to start. We'll start here in just a few minutes. I'm just going to go Facebook Live for all of those viewers. And everyone's muted, just so you know. Some of your kids are crying in the background. Welcome to the club. Okay, for those of you who are on our Zoom, we have a chat thread in the side. If you guys have any questions or if you want to interact at all, please feel free to post that in there. Oh, Amber, we're jealous. All her kids are in school. I love all the different phases here. So good. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started, you guys. I am thrilled to be on here to host this today. You guys, the response has been incredible. I just love all you mom bosses that have come here. Some of you already mom bosses, some of you looking into it. This is so fun. I totally had to wear my mom boss shirt today. You can't even see it on here, but you know, it's just fun for the occasion. I had it. And I also have a hat, but I couldn't find it. So anyway, it's just so fun to meet with all of you. So I am excited to kind of talk a little bit about this. This has been forming in my brain for a while because I've noticed that I have gotten a lot of questions about mom bossing. I have been a mom boss for 8 years now, almost 8 years coming up on that. And it's just so funny how many questions I get about how in the world do you do it all? Or how do you fit this in, right? And I think it's like this misconception that you kind of have to be super mom to be a mom boss. And I just want to knock that off the table right now, because I think that you're going to hear from some people today and you're going to find out that it's definitely not because we're super people. I have kind of a theme about make a big mess and clean it up later. And, you know, that is really what we're all about. So but that honestly, that's not too helpful, just to tell you that. So we actually want to share with you some even more tips. So we actually have a panel of people, and I love this panel. They are friends of mine that I have admired for years. And I have picked them because they're at all different stages of their businesses, their entrepreneurship, and also different stages of motherhood. And some of them are long time. We even have a grandma on here. It's funny to call her grandma because she acts younger than I do. She's amazing. But really just to share with you all different types. So I hope that this brings value to you, whatever phase that you are at. So I just wanted to start off by having each one of these ladies share just their best tips, where this can apply to any mom bosses out there. So we're going to start with my dear friend, Maiken, and I would love for you to introduce yourself and tell a little bit about your best tip, Maiken.
Awesome, you guys. I'm so excited to be on here. A little nervous, but like nervous-sighted, you know. And my name is Maiken Lacrua. I have been a mom boss for almost 5 years. When I say that, I'm like, wow, that has been, it's so quick. Like, I can't believe it's been that long. And I just wanted to share a little bit of why I did this, like why I looked into it. So just really quickly, at the time when I was approached to become a mom boss, I have a degree in elementary education. And something about that job is it is wonderful, but it also is very tiring emotionally and physically and mentally. And I had no energy. Like I would come home from school and I would have no energy left for my 2 kids and my sweet husband. And I just felt like something had to change. Like I just didn't want to live that life for the rest of my life. And not to mention any of you that have a background in maybe education, it just doesn't pay very well. So I was looking for another opportunity where maybe I could save some energy and make a bigger impact on my family's financial situation. So it's kind of funny that that was my motivation to get started as a mom boss, because my biggest tip that I'm going to talk about is, okay, listen to this. I'm so passionate about this, that you can absolutely 100% be an incredible mom boss, whatever that means to you, whatever company, whatever you're doing. and be an amazing mom. Okay. So something that I've experienced in the last 5 years is that is like the biggest, I would almost say, the thing that holds people back from wanting to explore having their own business or owning their own business is, well, especially women. I'm a mom and that's my top priority. You know, I totally agree with that. That's my top priority as well. But I just don't know if I have time to be a mom and to be a mom boss. And I am here to tell you that what I found is the exact opposite is true. Like the reality situation is that once I became a mom boss and I had a set time where I worked on something that I was super passionate about, something that I helped people while I was working and was able to do it from home and set my own hours. When that time period was up and I was done working for the day, have you ever had that experience where you're doing something and you feel like your cup is so full that it's almost to a state of overflow? That's how I started feeling. And I realized, you know what, because I am doing something for me, something that I love and something that contributes to other people on a daily basis. Oh, I'm looking at that picture. It makes me emotional. I'm able to show up for those 2 kids in a better way because I had my cup full. Any mamas out there on this webinar today, how many times in life do we think, you know what, I've got to give everything that I have to my kids. I've got to run myself ragged and I've got to be the best mom ever. But again, what I found is the opposite is true, that you can't take care of anybody else until you take care of yourself. And that's what owning my own business and building it and creating these new relationships has done for me. So if that's something you're concerned about, that is my biggest tip. Don't let that keep you from following your dreams, because you can be a better mom than you were before by doing something you love.
Oh my goodness, Mike. And I am so glad we started off with that, because isn't that just that's the name of the game right there. That is the reason I think why a lot of us have started being a mom boss and just really investing in ourselves, is because we show up differently. And if for anyone who's done this for any amount of time knows that it's absolutely true. So I love that. The opposite is actually true. Whenever you have that idea come into your brain, yeah, the opposite is true. So good. Thank you, Maiken. Next, we have my cute, darling friend, Jackie. I'm so excited for her to share a little bit about her journey.
Sorry, I thought you were going to unmute me. Okay, so I am new to this whole mom bossing thing, but I've only been doing it for a couple of months. But what I have to share is really important. For years, I was a serial entrepreneur dreamer. I had tons of ideas and I was always thinking of new ideas and products and stuff I wanted to design. And then I would just get bogged down by this idea of perfection and not feeling like something was ready. But then I would start to make excuses that were really worthy excuses that were like, well, I should be focusing on my kids, which is a worthy excuse. But let me tell you, I didn't focus on them any more than I already did. Okay. And so anyways, I would choke or I would just not do it. And I watched my husband produce and produce and produce and come up with all of these amazing things. And it's been building inside of me of like, I just need to do something. And then I watched this TED Talk and I wanted to be able to find it for you guys, but I couldn't find it. But in this TED Talk, this man was talking about product development. And he said that a motto that they use in their company is, don't worry, be crappy. And when I heard that, I was like, what does he mean? Don't worry, be crappy. You want to have a good product, right? But what he meant was, initially, your product isn't going to be great. You have to get better and better through using it and through the production process. And so you have to get it out there first. And for a lot of us, if your business is online or no matter what it is that you're doing, at first, when he says, don't worry, be crappy, it's okay. Because at first you don't have a ton of people following you. You don't have a ton of people watching what you're doing. And so you're able to get better and better at what you're doing. And in the meantime, your following gets bigger and bigger. And by the time you have a great following, you have a great product and you have branded yourself in a beautiful way, and in a way that is authentic to you, in a way that impacts a lot of people. So don't worry, be crappy. That's one of my little tips. And I posted something today too that said, the key to success is to start before you're 100% ready. I started this business in the middle of the summer. I have 5 little kids, from 13 down to 3 years old. And I thought, why not? Just give it a try, right? I was excited. I was passionate about what I was doing, and I was ready. And so I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. And I just fit it in wherever I could. And honestly, if that meant taking my computer into the bathroom and locking the door and just saying, I need a few extra minutes, fit it in where you can. There are golden pieces of time where your kids are occupied doing something else. They don't need you 100% of the time, right? They should be playing with friends, or they should be playing with each other. It's okay for them to watch a little bit of TV. It's okay for them to do something, right? But you find quality time with them, and then you spend the other time doing your other things. Sometimes be sure to put your kids to bed at a decent hour. Even if they're older kids, they can be in their room by 9 o'clock, and they can, or even 8:30, and they can be reading to themselves. They don't have to be up until 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 at night. Sometimes I understand if your kids are older, then that needs to happen. But anyway, so fit it in where you can, make it happen. Just do the dang thing, and don't worry, be crappy.
That is not advice that you thought you were going to get on this webinar, right? I love it. But Jackie is the queen of that. I'm telling you, when she started to be a mom boss, some people might have looked at that and thought that is literally the worst timing she could have picked, like the whole year. But again, I love your advice about not waiting till you're 100% ready. And the progress that she has made, it has been incredible to see what progress she's made, even in just the five weeks. About a couple months, just less than a couple months. So just amazing, Jackie, love that. Okay, next we have on Corinne. Now, Corinne kind of is super mom, so yeah, at least in my eyes.
Oh my gosh, you guys, total mom boss. One child had the iPad, one child was sleeping. The one with the iPad went and woke up the one that was sleeping.
Okay, what better thing to happen right now on this?
Holy cow, right?
I
Yeah.
love it.
So, okay, so I was thinking a little bit about being a mom boss and what it's been like for me at the same time as speaking kids. And so I was someone who always struggled with confidence and comparison with other people. And you guys, this is real life right here. I'm so sorry.
And Corinne, do you want to get him settled, and then maybe you can go after me? Do you want to do that?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. I have had to do that many times. Trust me. Hopefully my kids aren't coming in. Okay, yeah, I would love to give my tip as well. So I introduced myself a little bit about my family, that I have 5 kids, and they are ranging actually about Jackie's age, 12 to 2. And I really looked into the whole mom bossing thing because for me, I really wanted to make a difference. I felt like I was a mom and making a difference, and I felt like I had more to give, to be honest. And that's not everybody, and sometimes I hesitate saying that, but I'm going to share it because it's on my heart, and that's really how I felt. I felt like the things that I did as a mom was a little bit for me getting mundane, and I didn't want anything to take away from that, and I didn't want to have to go anywhere else and to work or anything, but I wanted to add value into my world and even have that adult interaction. And so that's when I decided that, I really would like to start a business. I think that this is something that I could do. And it's been absolutely the best decision that I have ever made in my whole life, next to probably marrying my husband. And it has provided me with so much fulfillment, and everything that these ladies are talking about. I have agreed with that. I want to share my tip in the form of when people ask, how do you do it all? And my tip is really about two things: time blocking and time blocking and time batching. So I want you guys to think about Costco. Any like Costco like lovers out there? I swear there's like a following of Costco lovers. I think I would shop at just Costco if they had everything that I ever needed. But you guys, what time does Costco close on Saturday night? Saturday night, I'll tell you, maybe one of arguably the most common like shopping times of the whole week. And they decide to close at 6:30 p.m. And I've always laughed about that because I thought, how can they do that? I want to go there every Saturday night, but they're always closed. But I think it's a great example of really how to run a business. Oh. And when you are confident in your offering, you can actually organize it around what matters most to you. And so for me, time blocking has been absolutely critical. The times that I felt overwhelmed, the only times that I've ever felt overwhelmed are the times that I am not time blocking, meaning I am letting other people control my schedule. So I'm looking to the people that I am serving and saying, when can I help you? Or whatever times you want, I'll fit it in. That has never served me, and it has totally gotten me overwhelmed. So instead, I have the mentality of I am setting up a schedule, and whenever I'm wanting to work or to help those people, it is going to fit into the parameters of my life. This is not selfish. This is how it works. If you think about school, when you were in school, maybe some of you guys are still in school. I'm thinking of like my son that's in middle school. Now I think he has 7 different periods, and you go to that one class, the bell rings, and then you have a 5-minute break, and then you go to the next class, then the next class, the next class. How many times as moms do we literally have 7 different classes that we're going to at once? No wonder we're overwhelmed. It's like a phone when you have a million browsers opened and your phone starts wigging out, like it can't handle that many, and you have to like go and like swipe and like take off all, swipe them off. So that's exactly how our brains are. We need it's actually, that's what creates overwhelm, is when we're trying to do it all at once. So what if you had a certain time of the week to do anything and everything? Now you're not doing it all at once, but you have a scheduled time. I used to wake up Monday morning feeling like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders because I didn't have a time to do everything. I woke up and thought it all had to be done Monday by noon. But when I started implementing this, it really showed me that there is a time to do everything. So let's start with time blocking. So for me, I'm going to share my screen. And I want to show you a little bit of what my schedule looks like. It's going to be different for everyone, so just take this for what it's worth. It's actually a little bit embarrassing to show like everybody on this whole webinar my schedule. It's a little bit old, but it will kind of give you the idea. Okay, let's see if I can find you again. All right. Can you guys all see that? So daily blocks. I recommend creating your own class schedule. Again, back to the class analogy, the school analogy. If first period is math, second period is science, third period is PE, you're not taking your math homework and trying to do it while you're at PE, right? You didn't do that in school. Same thing here. So create your time, your time blocks or your classes. And for me, it's going to look different for you. I suggest doing in 2 to 3 hour increments. This is actually a class that I took all on time management and time blocking. And so this is just one of the things that I wanted to share with you in that class. It was by Jordan Page. It was called, oh goodness, Productivity Bootcamp is what it was called. So if you come up with your first time block, for me, it's 6 to 9 in the morning. It's my morning routines of what I do. Okay. And then everything, she suggests that you basically write out, you know, all the different steps. And it may look a little bit slightly different every day, but not to micromanage yourself, allow some flexibility. Because I know some of you get a little bit stressed if it's like every single 5 minutes is scheduled out, right? I like to allow myself for some wiggle room, because probably in my morning routine, starting around breakfast before my kids are going out the door, there will most likely be a half a gallon of milk that's going to spill all over the ground. And I'm just going to plan it in because it's part of my morning block that's going to happen, right? So that morning block, 6 to 9, then 9 to 12, for me, that looks like work to me. Now, I will say when I started becoming a mom boss, I actually only scheduled for 20 minutes during nap time. So for you, that's going to look totally different. And then scheduling within that work time, you can actually go in and schedule some important things during the block tasks. They're called block tasks underneath. For me, 12 to 2 is an outing or the house. So for me, when I think, I don't think of dinner and I say, oh, dinner's got to be on the table. I've got to go run to the store right now. And then I just leave to go to the store. That doesn't happen ever. I have a time that I meal prep during the week, and then I have a time where I'm going to go to the store. So whenever I think, oh, I need to do this, or I need to buy this, or I need to do this errand, I'm fitting it in my outing time. 2 to 4 is quiet time for me, and I put in a nap. You guys are going to laugh, but I am a firm believer in the power nap. Hallelujah. I love my 10-minute power nap just to like reset my brain. And you can look at some of the things I have planned. After school, 4 to 6, I feel very passionate about turning off phones, turning off electronics, and being present. This allows me to be more present in each of these areas. Family time, 6 to 9. And I put Tyler, or, you know, your spouse time, 9 to 10:30-ish, and then 10:30 to 6, sleep, sleep, sleep. So I hope that helps you guys just to kind of get an idea of maybe what that looks like for you and where you can create your own time blocks. Now, the second thing is the time batching. There are certain things that you can do on a weekly basis that you might be doing a little bit every day that might be taking up a lot of your time that you can put into to just doing once a week. So for me, I'll just tell you what works for me is meal planning. I meal plan once a week, and I have all the meals planned for the whole week. I actually do grocery pickup once a week as well. And sometimes I'll forget some items, so I'll have to, run here and there. It doesn't mean we're perfect, but I'm saying the majority of the meal planning and the pickup is done once a week. Then also a planning session with my family so that we're all on the same page. I also do laundry once a week. I have certain work things that I do once a week, like I'm supporting all my clients once a week. I'm trying to think of what else. Just a few ideas. Just think about what things you're doing on a daily basis that you could move to a weekly basis to really maximize. And there's all sorts of studies done about focus and how much time it takes to focus. And when you divert your attention, how much time you're actually losing in that. So that's my suggestion as far as the time blocking and the time batching goes. And I will say Google Calendar has been a saving grace for our family. If you're not using Google Calendar, I also heard a study done that the most organized people and the most successful people have one calendar, one. So that's not a family calendar up on the wall, and then your written calendar, and then your work calendar, and then your kids' soccer schedule calendar, right? It's put into one place. So whenever I get different soccer schedules or different things for different kids, I'm putting all in one place, and you can share it with the spouse, you can share it with your family, you can share it with your work, whatever, you have all of that access on there. So anyway, those are my tips for managing your time. Again, I will say that it is not going to look perfect, but the goal is that 90% of the time, it is going to look perfect because you planned it that way. And then the 10% of the time that the milk spills and all that, you're actually planning around that. So anyway, those are my tips. Let's get back to Corinne. How are those kids doing over there?
See how long Bubble Guppies last, okay?
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I want to form my tip in the form of what mom bossing has done for me as well, not just what I'm able to do as a mom boss. So like I said before, I grew up as kind of a very timid, shy person, not a lot of confidence in myself. And I spent a lot of time comparing. In fact, it brought on a lot of stress and anxiety for me, comparing on their house is better than mine, their clothes are better than mine. Like it was, I don't know. I think that is really common. A lot of, as human beings, we do that, but it was really hard for me. And so fast forward, I become a mom boss. At the time I had 5 little kids. And I did okay as a mom boss. I was going to school at the same time and I was enjoying what I was doing. And at one point I had been a mom boss for about 5 years. And I kind of reached this point where I'm like, okay, I've done okay, but I want more. I want more. And I realized as I was doing some personal development and I was going through these different thoughts going through my head, that I was the one stopping myself. And it was in the form of comparing my business to everybody else's business and second guessing myself constantly. And so in different things that I had been listening to, podcasts and books that I had been reading and trainings that I had been going to, the thought came to my head and stuck with me, Corinne, you need to have your own back. And I was faced with some decisions that I really needed to make. And it's not that there was one that was right or wrong, but I had to make it for myself. And I was trying to make it and I kept second guessing myself. And finally, I was just like, Corinne, you just need to make this decision and you just need to have your own back and be confident in the choice that you made for you and for your family. And I made the choice. And basically, my confidence started growing from that point because I started making my own decisions. You guys, I'm an adult and I have struggled with this for so long, you guys. But I realized that at that point, as I started making the decisions that I wanted to do for my business, for my family, you guys, my business tripled after that. It was crazy. And the amount of confidence that came from just making my own decisions and backing myself up, not really needing that from anybody else, was huge for me. And to go along with the comparison, I had been comparing my business to so many other people's businesses of why is mine not growing like everybody else's? How come I'm not helping people like they're helping people or something like that? And I stopped doing that because I realized I spend more time looking side to side at everybody else's stuff, whatever it was, that the second that I made my own decisions and started looking forward and just focusing on my business, my family, you guys, that's when life changed drastically. It was so amazing. And I remember going to bed every night feeling so satisfied with how my day had gone. And it has bled into different areas of life. I now have 7 kids, and just being able to see, like, when my kids are struggling with confidence or making decisions or anything like that, I'm able to teach them the things that I have learned. I just wish I would have learned it years and years ago. But so those are probably my top tips: is have your own back and stop looking side to side. Just start looking forward and make it work. So.
And here's Corinne with her adorable 7 kids. Isn't that so cute? I just love it. Nothing like a picture. Thank you so much for sharing, Corinne. I have admired that about Corinne, and I have seen that when she had her own back and she did it like she does it versus anyone else, right? I love it. Corinne told me, I'm going to do it like Corinne does it. and that's going to look different than the other mom boss across the street or that you work with or whatever. And you're going to make it work. And look what happened. So love that, Corinne. Thank you for sharing. Okay, we have Laurie up next. I am so excited for you guys to meet this fireball of a woman. I'm so excited for you to share.
Oh, that makes me laugh, a fireball of a woman. But I'm here kind of representing a little bit different stage of the mom boss. I was 51 when I started having my own business at home. And I kind of want to, really my biggest tip is like how to find your passion. But I want to tell you a little bit about how I got started as a mom boss and my story. I have been a junior high school teacher a couple different times over the years. I have 4 children. Most of them are adults now. That makes me laugh. But so I taught for about 5 years when my oldest ones were little, and then I stopped and I was home as a stay-at-home mom for a lot of years. And then we had a financial need come up as our oh, there they are. And as the kids started going away to college, so I went back to teaching and I taught for another 5 years. But I have to say, like, my heart was never really in teaching. You know, there were little pieces of it that I liked, but my heart and my passion were at home with my kids. And every time I walked out the door to go to work, my heart was just tugging at me to be back at home. And it was really not just the hours I was teaching, but it was the after hours, you know, where we had open house and we had week trainings on the weekend. And, you know, it took away from my family time. And so after a few years of teaching again, I quit and just figured out how to make it being able to stay home. And so then I remember a couple years after quitting teaching that time, just sitting at home and thinking about, you know, what do I do now? Like I'm taking care of the house, I'm doing the laundry, I'm doing the grocery shopping, I'm running kids here and there, and that's wonderful. You know, my kids, like I said, they are my heart and my passion. But could there be something else? You know, when you hit 50, you kind of come to this place where you're like, like, what are the next 20 years going to look like for me? The next 25 years? What am I going to contribute to this world? Like, you start thinking about, you know, like, what are they going to say at my funeral? You know, she was a great mom and that'll be awesome. But like, could there be something else that might be added onto that? Some kind of, like Chantel talked about, some kind of contribution that I made in my little world around me that had an impact on people's lives. And I remember, like, when that thought came to my head, I was like, but I'm not good at anything. Like, I have no skills. I have no talents. I was like Corinne, I'm shy. I don't know how to connect with people. And it's really funny because I think some of those things actually were my strengths, but I saw them in my head as my weaknesses. So another thing that I thought about was, you know, like, what kind of example am I going to set for my children who are now leaving the nest and getting married themselves, and you know, what am I going to show them is possible? Then I also started having a financial need come up again. My kids were moving away. We had grandbabies on the way, and I wanted to be able to fly back and forth to see them as much as I wanted and not have to think about, like, do we have the funds to do that? So that was really kind of a drive for me. And those things right there kind of helped me have an open mind. So I have 3 tips real quick. My first tip is to find your passion. Get rid of that thought or that lie that's in your head that is telling you you are too something. For me, you know, you're too old. You're over 50. It's too late to start something new. Or you're too young, or you're too shy, or you're too, you know, whatever it is, too busy. You're not too anything. Like, if you find the thing that you're passionate about, then you will figure out a way. And you really don't have to know how it's going to happen. You just jump in and start. Like Jackie said, she wasn't 100% prepared, but she just started. And then my second tip, let's say there's a quote from the Chinese philosopher Confucius. He says, choose a job you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. And I want to add in there, choose a job that you love, and that you could stay at home with, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. So my second tip is to have a growth mindset. I don't know if you've heard about like fixed mindset and growth mindset, but have a growth mindset about finding something you're interested in. I wasn't really sure what I could do at home, but I was open to that when I really thought about those, like what can I do to make an impact? I had that financial need, so I was open. And when you're open, you're liking new things, you're looking for challenges, you're seeking opportunities to improve and change. And that's kind of a battle in our brains, because our brains want the easy way out and everything. So working on having that growth mindset to explore things that might come your way. And then my third tip is to find something that people have a need for, something that people are looking for in their life, and something that you could add to their life that would add value for them. And then something that people that they need help with. And when you find something that you're interested in, that's my little Venn diagram, and something that people have that need for and they intersect, then that is where you can find your purpose and your passion. And that is totally what happened for me. And it's just been so exciting to see that I could do things that in the beginning I thought were not possible. And just to kind of become more confident in myself. And we'll talk about that more later, but just to have those mind shifts of where my brain used to tell me, like, you have no talents, you have no skills, you have no strengths, and to be able to start identifying them and to start playing to those strengths has been just huge.
Wow, Laurie, that is incredible, incredible advice. I just love that about finding your passion. And I have to say, in the chat thread, I'm just loving all the chats here. And Heidi Walker, I loved yours about when you find what you're passionate about, you are a more passionate mom. And I have seen that so much when and that's what I feel like, that's what my kids need. My kids want me a happy mom. They don't want a mom that's run ragged and is resentful of how much I'm giving to them. They want a mom that is fulfilled and happy and can show up. And I can tell you what, after I've had my time where my self growth and all of those things, I come and I show up for them, and I feel so full that I have so much to give to them. So Laurie, thank you for sharing about that, finding that passion. Corinne, I loved your having your back. I took all these notes. This is so good. Jackie, about fitting it in wherever you can. And let's be real, don't worry, be crappy. Best advice ever. I feel like if somebody just started listening to this, they're going to turn it off thinking, who are these ladies? But we all know that's good advice. Maiken, absolutely being the best mom, and how investing in yourself and being a boss mom can actually make you a better mom. So you guys, oh my goodness, I hope you have taken away some really, really amazing tips. I am so excited for so many of you and the path and the journey you are. I know a lot of you on. I'm excited. I know some of you came to this webinar to explore a little bit more about what we do as mom bosses. So I would love to open this up back to the panel so that we can talk a little bit about what we do as health coaches. So I'm just going to start a little bit with my story as specifically as a health coach. About 7 years or so ago, I was very passionate about health and fitness. I felt like I had it pretty much together with that, and I had no idea how much more I had to learn. And so when I had a friend that offered this to me, I felt like, this is something that I can help other people with, right? And so when I started, I had 20 minutes a day that I thought I could dedicate to. And it's crazy how contagious health is. I think that's why I've really loved being a coach, is that it's just such a natural thing that I can share with people because I feel passionate about it. And who doesn't need health. And I heard the statistics of how bad our world was getting and how 2/3 of Americans are overweight and obese. And by the year 2032, over 90% are going to be overweight and obese. And I thought, I have a passion and I can help do something about that. And so I didn't know much about that at the time other than my own experience. And so my coach actually told me that she would co-coach with me. And she would help me along the way, teaching me, mentoring me, walking beside me every step of the way. And I thought, okay, well, I've never lost a bunch of weight. I don't really have the skills or the knowledge to do that, but I know that being backed by a program that works, that is scientifically and medically formulated, I thought I can do that. I can be someone's cheerleader and help them. And so that's when I decided to become a certified health coach and to help people. And it's just been crazy to see how that has grown. And just this past year, my husband and I actually reached the highest, the award in the company of helping people. And it has been incredible to see how the ripple effect has happened. I just honestly wanted to start and help a couple people, but it's been crazy who actually has needed that. So I just feel blessed to be able to do this every day. I wake up very, very, very excited. So I want to hear from the rest of the panel what they love about being a health coach. So let's start with Maiken first.
Hey guys, so I'm going to take you back just a little bit to when I first started talking and I was telling you about my energy level. And when I had that thought about something's got to change, it was actually when I was pregnant with my daughter, who is 5 now. And I just had this thought, like, I have got to do something. This cannot be my life for the rest of my, like, I've got to make a change. I've got to do something different. And by the time she was born, I was approached to become a health coach. And like everybody has said, like Jackie said, you kind of just fit it in where you can. I was teaching school part-time, but not part-time, I was actually teaching full-time. And I read the education material that actually comes along with our programs that we offer. And I fell in love with it. And the first thing that I thought is, this is everything that I believe about health and more. I didn't have a ton of weight to lose. I had white-knuckled my weight loss with my daughter and had gotten to a place where I was comfortable. But the fatigue was always a problem. And so I started living those principles. And it was like this light bulb of like, you guys, it was like, you have got to share this. You would be absolutely 100% selfish if you didn't share this with other people in your life, or specifically working moms, or, you know, moms that stayed at home, or whoever, that people out there feel like I do, and I've got to share this with other people. And so I didn't necessarily have a weight loss story when I became a coach, like Chantel was saying, but I started helping people, and I helped my husband, and it was a ripple effect. I just kept helping more and more and more people. And the joy that I felt through that was kind of the same joy that I experienced as a teacher. But it was very part-time work for a very full-time income. And I was like loving it and realizing this is something that I could do for the rest of my life and find joy in it. So around that time, as I started helping more and more people, I supplemented part-time teaching income and went part-time as a teacher. And just last year, I retired as a teacher in May. I taught third grade for 12 years. I still love it, and I'm so grateful for that part of my life. But able to have that income plus more and be at home with my family. Something that I wrote down is that I didn't want to forget is I am expecting again. I have a baby on the way. And this is the first time in my entire married life where I will get to be home all day long with that baby. So exciting. You know, if you've never had that opportunity, or you've never been faced with, do I go to work or do I stay home? It's really special. And so my passion has now turned to, who else needs this the way that I do? Who else could I change their life, change their health, or change their financial situation? You know, the possibilities are endless. And the last thing that I might add, something else that makes me so passionate about what I do, both my kids They just got new backpacks for school. You guys know all about that. You go and buy all these new things for school. And both of them had me put a little pin on their backpack that says Optivia, which is our company. And they wear it proud every single day on their backpack. And when they talk to people about what I do, my mom's a health coach and she helps people lose weight and find health in their lives. That is just reaffirming to me that I am not taking away from being a mom. Going back to my tip, I am teaching my kids that they can do whatever they want to do in their lives. And to see them walking around proud of what I do, that I'm able to help other people and really make a difference, that for me, I was just completely sold. And I wake up with such excitement every day to be home with my kids, but to make a difference like I did in teaching, just in a little bit different way, that I still get to do that and feel fulfilled. But I get to make my own schedule and have time, more time for my family. So that is why I love this.
Maiken, absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing your journey. And it's so interesting to me how it has been a journey for you. And that involves a lot of time in between, but how you have actually created what matters most to you. So thank you so much. Okay, we're gonna have Jackie next.
So I just turned 39 this summer, and I had a friend, that's a little bit older than me, say, be sure that you look the way you want to look by the time you're 40, because it's all downhill from there. And I thought, oh my goodness, I really need to look the way I want to look. But the thing is I'm always like 10 pounds off or something or whatever. And I've had 5 kids, and it's interesting to me how people, well, I won't go into that. But anyways, I decided like the number just kind of kept creeping up. And the thing is, I realized like no matter how much I worked out, nothing was changing as much, because I wasn't changing the way that I was eating. I was a human garbage disposal, and I just eat whatever I feel like eating, or I will binge and deprive myself. I'll eat a bunch of stuff that I love, and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, that was too much. I'm going to wait for a while. And then the afternoon comes and I get the munchies and go for it again. And so I hated the way that I was eating. I'm like, my goodness, I am a grown woman. Why can't I control myself? So there's all this information out there on the web and all these ideas and food plans and whatever. But it honestly, for me, the learning curve of all of that was just too much time. It was too much time to switch everything up at the grocery store. I was wasting food by not using it at home. I wasn't able to, it took so much focus that it was hard to feed my family too. And it just was a lot of time and energy. I had followed Chantel for a long time and saw what she does. And I thought, you know what, I'm done. I'm done trying to do this on my own. I want something that's easy and effective, that works. And so I called her up and I went to an event that she had and saw the community she created. And get this, with women that were in their upper ages, that were losing their weight, that were not in that mold of like, it all goes downhill from there. And Lori is a good example of that. Like, it works. Our product works. So when I saw that, I was like, there's hope after 40. And so I was really excited. So anyways, I joined the program and realized I wanted to do this for myself and I wanted to share it with others. Like Maiken said, it is a gift to share with others. So I lost 20 pounds in 2 months. I honestly, I knew that I could lose some weight, but I didn't know that I could lose 20 pounds. And it was amazing the way that it came off and how I felt. What you don't know by looking at these pictures is that I also had headaches all the time. I had tension in my neck and shoulders that would not quit, to where in the morning, by the time morning came, I was like, oh, forget it. I'm done sleeping. It hurts too much. And I would get out of bed. And then it would like build and build until I'd get a debilitating migraine. And when I started this program, I did not know that it would also take away my headaches and my migraines, and that I would feel so much better and have so much energy. So what I loved too is that this program focuses so much on mindset. I was thinking about, I'm like, what should I do for my career? Maybe I'll become a life coach, And I was looking into that. But when I went to Chantel's function and they talked mostly about mindset and that weight loss was just a happy side effect, I was like, okay, you mean I can bring people total wellness in one package? This is what I want to do forever. So that's what I'm excited about, that I can help people and tell people that if you're ready and you're willing to work, you will be able to lose 8 to 10 pounds a month. And I can just tell you that, and that's what happens. And it's amazing when you follow the program, it really works and it changes your mindset and you feel great. So it's like a whole reason behind it all.
Amazing, Jackie. I have to show the cute picture of your family because I think I forgot to earlier. Look at those kids. Adorable. But Jackie, you're exactly right. I have absolutely loved the predictable results from this program. And it's so fun to have something that you can share with somebody else. I feel like it's like wrapping up health in a nice little box and put a bow on it and just say, here you go. I'm confident this can change your life. Are you ready? So amazing, Jackie. Thank you. Okay, Corinne, you're up next.
Okay, I am so excited to share this part. Holy cow. Okay, so as I mentioned before, you guys, I started this coaching business 5 years ago. I just started my 6th year earlier in 2019. And I had originally come to this program to lose some baby weight after baby number 5. Like I said, I had 5 small kids. I think it was 5 kids in 7 years. And I was also going to school full time. And I was getting my bachelor's degree in marriage and family studies. And so doing this program, I was able to lose about 20 pounds in 2 months, which gave me numbers on the scale that I hadn't seen in like before kids, and I don't even know when. And so I felt awesome. But kind of like Jackie was talking about, we also focus a lot on the mindset. So within Optavia, we have our trilogy of health, right? And we have this, but we take more of a holistic approach to talk about like whole wellness and as a whole being. And the healthy mind aspect really stuck a chord with me. I don't know much about nutrition. Everything that I know now is everything I've learned in the last 5.5 years. And but just after a month of being on this program and how I was feeling, immediately just was like, I need to be a part of this because I need more of this. And like I mentioned, I had struggled with confidence and all of that all growing up. And so this really started to help me overcome those concepts that I'd had. And so I graduated with my bachelor's in marriage and family studies, like I said, and I was actually deciding whether I wanted to go to get my master's so that way I could do therapy. And like I said, 5 small kids, and I had been coaching for a little while. And I actually decided that this gave me the fulfillment that I was looking for of why I was considering therapy in the first place, because I wanted to help people with what was going on up in the brain. And the brain is seriously just so fascinating for me, that these physical things going on, these mental things going on. And so one of my favorite things about coaching is to watch the process happen and unfold with my clients and with my coaches. I absolutely love this process. And it gets me more excited about life than just hearing people losing weight. There's so much more to it. And so I had become a coach like a month after I was a client. And my coach didn't even ask me if I wanted to be. I was the one who was like, I need this. And so it's been so much fun to be able to stay at home, be the mom boss, but also to have this health background and knowledge now. And I've learned so much about nutrition that now that I have 7 kids, I'm able to teach them how to live a healthier lifestyle. And not just nutrition wise, but I also have kids that struggle with anxiety and confidence issues just like I did. And I can use the tools that I'm learning and using as a health coach to be able to teach them as well, that I can just help everybody in my own house and be able to do it while holding her. So that's just a little bit about my coaching story.
Corinne, thank you so much for talking about that whole mental side of things. And I think that what you're talking about, that transformation of helping somebody through that process, I think we can all agree that here on this panel, that is probably the most rewarding thing of being there to help somebody through that whole journey, seeing that transformation. Like, isn't that what it's all about, is to help people and serve them and create that change. So, so rewarding and fulfilling. So thank you for talking about that. Okay, and then Laurie, we'd love to hear from you.
All right, I'm excited to share because I feel like I've had a lot of years of struggling to find answers with my health. I probably became, we talk a lot about body image in the world today and the good and the bad things about it. I became very aware probably from the age of 5 that my body was built different than most of the people around me. So it's something that I've struggled with for years. And as a result, I've been looking for answers for a long time, trying lots of different things out there, different programs, and reading lots of articles about nutrition and trying different workout plans, and just felt like I was looking for a key that would work for me. And I would find a lot of things that would work a little bit. I think Jackie talked about that 10 pounds. And but I could never get something that would go past that. And just a lot of years of frustration of not finding the right key or the right answers. And when I did find this program after 50, I was maybe 51 when I found it, and found that it worked, and that key started turning, and it kept turning and turning, like the weight just kept coming off that I had struggled with for so long. And as I got to my healthy weight, I realized that what I had really been doing was learning a lot of great habits that were going to help me going forward just to be a healthy person. And as I realized that, it really became more exciting because I just felt good. Like I had energy, like Mike talked about, and just physically I felt better, and mentally I felt happier. And so kind of like when those things started coming together, I realized, this is really cool. I know that I have a lot of family and friends who are probably struggling just like me. And I didn't know if it was something that I could do, but it was something that I was open to. I talked about that growth mindset. And so I decided to jump in and start helping those people around me. And as I started helping my first clients pull out that key and start turning their key, a lot of people come to me and they're like, I feel like I've been in this prison, like I haven't been able to get out and do the things that I've wanted to do in my life. And like their world just starts getting smaller and smaller because they're pulling back from life. And I get to hand them this key and say, hey, this could work for you. And they start trying it, and it starts unlocking for them. And they start having these ahas, and they start feeling that confidence, and they start just physically feeling better and mentally feeling better. Then I'm just trying to even describe, like, it's like being a mom. We're talking about being a mom boss. It's like watching one of your kids like learn how to walk or go out and graduate from college. And I get so excited for my clients, and I always say that I'm kind of addicted to it because I just get so excited to help the next person. And so that's been really, really rewarding. And some of the things that have happened since I started coaching, some other things, is that I've realized I talked about finding something that people need. Oh my goodness, like there is no end to the number of people that need help with their health. Like 70% of people are either overweight or in the obese category. So it's not like you're ever going to run out of people to help. I thought that in the beginning. I'm like, okay, once I help my first 5 friends, like I'm going to run out of people. And now I've even lost count. It's like hundreds of people. And so it's just really exciting that now I had this interest because so many years of reading about nutrition and then finding answers that worked. And then there's all these people who need help. And so now I found that passion. That just gets me excited and fired up and ready just to go out and create a little army of people helping fight, the kind of the epidemic that is out there. And then a couple other things that it's helped me grow personally. I talked about that lack of confidence and feeling shy and like I couldn't connect with people. And I really realized, actually, that's one of my strengths. Like I love connecting with people now. I love getting on the phone and talking with old friends and meeting new friends. And so that's been fun. And then one thing that I've loved is that this business, like Chantel talked about, is based on helping others. And I can totally wrap my head around that. The more that I help other people, the more it helps me grow my business. And as I stay focused on helping others, over the past 2.5 years, I've been able to develop a really thriving business that I had no idea when I started, but that I'm now earning probably over twice what I did as a teacher, and that was not really something that was my beginning motivation, but we've had some financial situations come up where that has completely blessed our lives. And I've been so grateful that I just jumped in and started before I knew 100% and just found that passion in my life. And I've just absolutely loved it.
Laurie, it sounds like it's a complete win-win situation for you and for everybody around you.
It has.
Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for sharing your story. So inspiring. You guys, the community of these women, and I won't even exclude men. Today we're talking about the women and the ladies, but you know what? We should do another one for dad bosses. But really just an incredible community of people that are searching for the same things, and we're all so much alike and wanting slightly different things, but really wanting this very similar thing. So I appreciate our panel today. I hope you have walked away with great tips and great suggestions. And if you're looking for something to be a mom boss, please reach out to the person who invited you to this. And we are just happy to help. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you guys.